All right, so I'm coming into this really cold, folks. Sorry about that. You're listening to a little special edition of Deprogrammed. My name is Justin Wilson, as you may know, but you may not know this man, Tom Pappas. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing, Tom?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad you called me. Very
Yeah,
much.
my apologies for being late. I was supposed to be calling you like an hour and a half ago, and I just remembered right now. So,
it happens.
where
Man.
are you located?
I'm in Hampton, Virginia.
Mm.
So we're like an hour to your east-ish.
No. I live in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
So a little further out. So you're in Hampton? Are you near like Junction City, Bristol area, or where's Hampton?
Are you familiar with like Norfolk, Virginia Beach?
Oh yeah, you're 10 hours from me, man.
Oh yeah, so I'm way.
But held together by the miracle of cellular technology.
Yes. So you're here today to talk to me a little bit about Superdrag.
Yes, sir.
Tonight the Deprogrammed was on Superdrag, and if you're not familiar with our program, what we do is I get a panel of people together, three or four. Tonight the case was three, and we talk about that day's band. Tonight it was Superdrag. The idea being with Superdrag is that all three members of the panel had never listened to Superdrag before. So we were all discovering Superdrag together. It is so weird, actually. After listening to the discography, that's super weird, because the overwhelming response was, how the hell did we not listen to these guys? Like it doesn't make sense.
There's loads of bands out there you've never heard of that are really good. Some of them are here in Nashville. You know, there might be a local band, but it's usually, you might have loads of bands that are really popular, and it's not music you dig. It's all subjective.
Fair enough. It's a fair enough point. But it's just funny how it fell into all three of our wheel well. Like, this was like a band that's really spoke to all three of us. But
right on.
It's funny you mentioned local music. That's kind of like what the station does here. Like our station, Radio Free Radio, we play local independent music. Like it's 100% independent. It's probably about 90% of this area.
That's fine. We're well, we don't exist anymore. We don't play anymore. Superdrag, that is. But I'm still, John and I live here in Nashville, and I'm working at his house right now, do construction stuff.
Oh.
So I see him almost every day right now. But, we do our own bands. He doesn't play out as live much. He likes to do studio stuff. And then I've got my band, Tom Pappas Collection, and we'll do, I'll do a Superdrag number, now and again, from the reunion record and stuff. But that band was a big part of our lives. That's all we did for years. That's how we made a living,
So you guys were like, I've seen it described as a on again, off again band. Is it officially off again for forever, for foreseeable future?
Yeah, I have no idea, man. Somebody asked John that before the reunion, and he's like, it's never going to happen again. And I thought it would never happen again. Then we had the reunion, and it did.
Yeah.
So I just leave it there. But like, as far as like somebody calling up and asking us to play, it's like usually not. If it was like a big event, like we, big huge thing, I'm sure that everybody would consider it. But he's not that into it, and he's the main dude. You got
right.
You can't do it without John.
Yeah.
So.
I gotta say, I'm bummed that I never got to see you guys play. Like, you guys are right in my wheelhouse. Like, it's perfect sound for me.
Yeah. Well, we still play. It's just under different names.
Different names.
We still write songs. I was doing music before Superdrag in 1992 and 93 in the Used with John, doing punk rock. And then he was writing, and we did Superdrag. And during that, I had Flesh Vehicle, and now he's got the band The Leaves of Memory with Brandon from Superdrag. It sounds like Superdrag. I suggest checking that stuff out.
Oh.
Some people say that's some of the best Superdrag records out, and they're called The Leaves of Memory.
Oh. In doing some research, I found that the follow up to Regretfully Yours, Head Trip in Every Key, was actually like a big war with the record label. No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I misread this? Oh no.
No, yeah. Well, there's, it's a situation. You put out a record, you have a one-hit wonder on it, right?
Uh-huh.
It's 1996. You have the second record. They spent a whole bunch of money on the record. They want you to do it, a certain way. They want to, they basically want you to recreate what you did,
right.
but not tell you that. It's like, we don't want you to play the same song again, but deep down we really do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and we didn't want to record a record like that. We wanted to, you do artistic stuff, you want to grow.
Absolutely.
So we did, and that's like the cult. I call that the cult record because everybody always loves that record. I've had people that come up to me in clubs like, nobody knows who I am, or whatever. And then you have these like, I remember being in San Diego once. I was with my sister. We're at the San Diego Zoo, right? And this Asian couple comes up to my sister, and I was hanging out with my little niece about 20 feet away, walking her. And my sister comes back and goes, those two Asian people know you. I was like, yeah. They're like, is that Tom from Superdrag? And they said, and she's like, yeah, you want to meet him? They go, no. So it's like you're anonymous for the most part. You don't even really think about it. It's just like something you did in your past. You still like the music. I'll listen to it now and again. We did the reunion stuff for a while in 2007 through 2010. We went for Cheap Trick. We were actually bigger during the reunion in terms of like headlining. It was a lot of big shows. But, you're like this kind of cult status deal where somebody might not know you from Adam, or like, who cares, and then somebody else will think you're that's the greatest thing since, sliced bread or something. But
so, this may sound weird, but, I did an episode of Deprogrammed a couple weeks back with my wife on the band Hanson.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
And it's the one-hit wonder, and they came a little bit after you guys. 98, I believe, is when Mbop hits. Mm-hmm. And they actually had a very similar situation where they went to record the follow-up, and the record label was at war with them because they wanted 13 Mbops. And that was the quote that stuck out to me reading up on Head Trip, is that, you guys didn't want to write 13 sucked outs.
Yeah. Still like the song. I'm proud of that too.
Oh yeah, it's a great song.
It's not like we don't like or I don't, me personally, I think it's a killer track. I love the record, love the time period. It encapsulates the time period, but, I don't know. If you listen to Head Trip in every key and you get a copy of it, listen to the second song, Hellbent. It is similar to Sucked Out. It's in that ballpark. So hell, we kind of gave them what they wanted, but yeah. It's not exactly like it. But it can fit into that whole deal. But I think the whole war thing happened after that record.
Oh.
There was a war about the cover. Our singer wanted to have a different picture on the cover than the one that from the photo session, and yada yada yada. And stuff just happened, and I'm cool. It's like, what would it be like if we did have several platinum records?
Yeah.
We might be dead.
Oh, well, my question was going to be that eventually Hanson decided that the label wouldn't let them make the record that they wanted, so they ended up going independent. But what I really respect reading up on you guys is you guys made the record that you wanted. That's killer, man. To look the label in the face and say, you know what, this is our record, this is our sound, we're not going to betray it. Here it is. And I mean, I love you guys for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're there. Well, they were actually pretty cool about that in terms of like giving us a giant budget. It was like the biggest thing I was ever involved with. There was a 24-piece orchestra on that second record.
Yeah.
The gutsy move, I thought, even more so than us, they allowed us to do that, was when I left the band in 1999.
Right.
And they got another bass player in there who's a good friend of mine who lives here in Nashville. I just saw him, my buddy Sam, and they were fantastic, and they put out Valley of the Dying Stars, and that is an independent record, and they did drop them from the label.
Oh.
But they gave them a severance package, and they used that money to create their own record and go out and then tour independently from 1999 till 2003, I believe.
Man.
So they became an indie band on Arena Rock Records, which is an independent label. And they made a living, and that record, I don't know if you've listened to that, the one I'm not on, is my favorite. That's Valley of the Dying Stars.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I wasn't going to bring it up because I knew you weren't on the record, but I think I could easily make a case because I found it in like a $2 bin at an FYE, and that was my introduction. Other than Sucked Out, my introduction to the band. And I was like, man, this is really good. And just for whatever reason, I never sought out the rest of the discography. But I loved Valley of the Dying Stars.
A great record, man. That's John. John plays bass on half of that record, and they brought Sam into the band on the other half. Well, that's where the war with the label really was, because it was going to be released on Elektra initially, and he would just write loads and loads of songs, give them to the A&R guy, and the A&R guy was like, this is good. We need a world-class song. That was more of a war. So that, at least from what he told me, I wasn't there. I was only there for the demo part of it, pretty much. And then they recorded half of it under the studio, under Elektra's tutelage or whatever. And then they gave us the masters, I think, is what happened.
Right.
And then they went and recorded. They bought a studio equipment and recorded the rest of it on their own.
Man.
And that's when I thought it was cool. I'll never forget. Here's my memory of that whole tour. As a matter of fact, Brandon left when they went on tour after about the first month or two, and it was Don and John, original drummer, and of course the singer, and then Sam, who took my place, and then they brought in a guitar player, William Tyler. Then William left, and they were a trio. So, and I was roadieing for Bear Jr., and we're at South by Southwest, and I think this was in 2000, and we went to go see them play. We played our show. Bear Jr. was opening for the Black Crowes, so that was huge, fun show. And then we go to Buffalo Billiards, I think is what it was called, in South by Southwest in Austin. We go and see Superdrag, and they're a trio, and they just kill it, about 600 people there, pretty big show. And then they invite Ray Davies from the Kinks on stage and end the set.
Oh, man.
And my jaw hit the ground. I was like, oh, my God.
That's pretty cool.
From the Kinks.
Yeah.
There's a story for you.
I got to say, it's amazing to hear that. Like, a lot of, I guess you get the feeling, or, reading this stuff, that there might be some bitterness between them. It's great to hear that that's not even close to the case.
No, we still, we'll go. When I went to Knoxville, I had my own band called Pappas Collection.
Which is
I still
great
do
too,
numbers that were Superdrag numbers, it was on the reunion record, but I did a song called Cheap Poltergeist, so I still play that in my set.
Ooh.
And Brandon's there. I was like, Brandon never comes out to shows. Maybe I should just invite him up on stage. Maybe he'll come out. And Brandon learned. Brandon was initially in the Used, so we did a Used number. I've known him, 20 of my best friends. I've known him 24, 25 years. So we did a Used number, Superdrag number, and then we did a Flesh Vehicle number, which is now a Tom Pappas Collection number. It all kind of melds together.
Nice.
And he came up and just killed it, toying with the idea of getting him up for a full set next time. But yeah. We all hang out and help each other in bands. John plays in a band with me called Hurts to Laugh. He plays drums in it. We went in the studio. My friend Eric Dale's band, and we're the rhythm section for it.
That's great. So, that is really great. Like, I don't know why. Like, I guess I read too far into it that there might be some sort of tension, but clearly I was way wrong. That's awesome.
Yeah, we hang out with each other's kids and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I'm sorry. I feel like I cut you off. You were about to launch into the story. It just it feels good to know that there's no bitterness, no tension. I don't know why, but I didn't think that was the case.
Most bands, it isn't the case, because you're around each other all the time. You might have had, I mean, we did. I'm sure throughout the years we've had our problems and ups and downs with the drama of stuff back when we were all effed up,
Right.
But
yeah.
Now it's just like it was like your war buddies,
So
you fought in the '90s wars,
yes,
the 120 minutes wars.
Yeah, being buzzworthy.
Yeah, man, it was pretty cool time period. I mean, just it's a weird time period now, but
It is really weird now, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I find a band here and there, and actually, I found Tom Pappas' collection, obviously from the Superdrag website, and
oh yeah,
I went ahead and listened to it. And I was like, oh man, this is really good. So as soon as I have a little money my way, I'll be purchasing that from the Bandcamp. If you guys want to, is it Pappas collection.bandcamp.com?
yes it is.
See?
You can do that if you're are you a vinyl guy?
I'm in between.
And it's okay if you're not, because we got the brand new record out on vinyl and we got CD. And the best deal is if you go onto the site, you buy a T-shirt, you get a free download of the whole record.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's.
So, but I'm down to smalls and mediums right now, so I have no idea. That would be a.
Unfortunately, I'm neither of those. Maybe if you
Okay,
combine
well I'm going to be
both.
printing up new T-shirts in the next like 2 months or so.
Very
so
cool.
if you go up there, you'll get a free download of the new record.
I dig
get
that.
A T-shirt.
So what I wanted to do before letting you go, and again, thank you so much for calling, man. I really appreciate it. I wanted to run down again. We whittled down our songs, and actually, "Cheap Poltergeist" was one of the last ones in the conversation. We whittled it down.
Really?
Yeah, it really was. Yep.
Out of the whole catalog?
Yeah. Yep.
I never would have guessed that one.
But we've got.
Thanks.
We whittled it down to 10, and maybe if you wanted to give your thoughts on a couple of these, and then we'll call it a night. So first, With a Bullet actually ended up being Destination Ursa Major.
That's a good one. I'll vote for that.
Yeah, and we thought that was a closer definition of the sound of the band, like rather than.
That's funny. You mentioned that because that was what we picked for the second single, and we thought that encapsulated our sound better, just like you said. So.
And I didn't know that it had a video. I didn't know that it was.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know, and I'm like, man, had I seen this back then, I would have been a huge Superdrag fan. That bums me out.
You want to know what happened? You want to hear a story about why it didn't get played?
Would love to.
This is what I was told. We went out to eat lunch. It was 1996. The single was happening. It was starting to die down a little bit. We put out Destination Ursa Major, shut down on Wall Street in New York City, and we had lunch a couple weeks or months later, and with the actual programmer at MTV. I mean, those guys launched the band. Elektra didn't launch them. When they picked up Sucked Out, that, we're on TV 4 times a day for 6 weeks, So they said they didn't play it because they didn't want to look like they were playing favorites. They said the label dropped the ball with radio promotion. So they just, they didn't want to play favorites. No offense, but that's why we couldn't play it. That was what I was told.
That's
from the person who directs programming. Of course, this is like, 20 years ago. I don't care at this point, but
right. But
that's what went down.
That seems like a really lame excuse.
Hey, I mean, it's true. It's like you got all these bands going, and when you put something out, you got to have the label backing it so they just don't look like they're favoring the band, because they helped us out a lot. By doing what they did. Mm-hmm. But anyways, go on. Destination Ursa Major. I'm backing it.
So that was one with a bullet. Number 2 came in. This was a unanimous decision. Was Keep It Close to Me, off of Valley.
Yeah, you want to know a thing about that tune? Or
Absolutely.
You want to keep going? You don't have a lot of time.
Whatever you got, man. I'd love to hear something about it.
During the reunion thing, we would have songs that people would sing.
Right.
You had Sucked Out. People would sing that like crazy. The place, you have 1,000 people screaming it. Keep It Close to Me was one of the other tunes. Not a hit, nothing,
Yeah.
And we'd start the set out, and John would let the audience sing. And I'll never forget that. It almost felt like you were covering somebody else's music.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's super catchy.
Yeah, it's a good one, man, and it's a testimony too. It's like, it's on, Valley of the Dying Stars, and it's after, he was, told this music, wasn't that good, over and over again. He's like, tell you what, screw you. I'm going to keep it close to me, and this is the deal. I don't want to deal with the hassle. I'm going to give you the music. That's what you get. Boom.
Exactly. Like that first line, again, it's so perfect, is I love rock and roll, but I don't want to deal with the hassle.
I want rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes. And I know what I know, but I don't want to feel like an asshole, is the
yeah. It's like, and people dug that. So I, of course, back that one. That's the one we played.
All right,
So reunion.
We've got Senorita.
Back in that has lots of memories. That's how we got signed because of that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that came out. It was on our first demo, Stereo 360 Sound. Put that out in 1994. Went out to California. Went up to San Francisco. Darla Records wanted to put, after we played there, they wanted to put that single out. They put the little, there's this vinyl, you know,
right?
And they wanted to put it out, and then CMJ heard it, and they picked it up. Remember the little CD? Do you remember 1996? I don't know how old you are, but
I would have been 16, so I remember it.
They used to have this magazine called CMJ, College Music Journal, and they put out a magazine. Inside the magazine, it had a sampler of songs on it, and they put Senorita as one of the songs on the sampler. And then all the labels went nuts because it was right around the time when Weezer had just gone, platinum, and Green Day was hitting. So we were in that realm of pop noise music, you know, punk rock mixed together. So that song started a bidding war, basically. And we, kept playing shows. We're active. We go to New York a bunch and try to get with the best label we could,
That's great.
And that's what happened. And here's another story. I had my single, and those things are actually worth something right now.
Oh man.
But anyhow, Senorita, back in it, that was another one we played, and people dug that one a lot too.
Yeah, so we're right in line so far.
Yeah.
How about Going Out? Again,
Going Out's one of my faves. We only played that. It was right before I quit the band. It's the only time I remember playing that. We played a couple times, but I always loved that song myself. And remember, that's on one of my favorite records.
Yeah, it's
by Superdrag. It is.
I think we got three. Yeah, we got 3 Valley in. So and then the next one, Some Kind of Tragedy.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Some Kind of Tragedy. What record's that on?
It's on Valley.
That's on Valley?
Yep.
Thinking soul of the world. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then,
gotcha. It's another fave of mine. It almost has the Who vibe to it.
Yeah, totally.
It's on the back side of the record right before, True Believer.
Yes. Yep. Death Blow to Your Pride.
Death Blow to Your Pride. What record's that on?
Industry Giants.
Oh, it's the punk rock one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that now.
Definitely dug that one. It just had
That's a good one.
Nice groove to it. Do the Vampire.
One of my faves, Tom Pappas collection used to cover that one.
Had to get it
through.
One
of my faves.
Yeah, had to get it through. Last Call for Vitriol, the Staggering Genius. I just
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was the second time they played on Conan O'Brien. They played that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody canceled and they called them up and they drove to New York and played Conan O'Brien.
Oh.
Sam was in the band, and Mick Harrison. It's pretty cool. They all dressed up in suits and stuff. So I was proud of those dudes 2 times in a row.
Yeah. We got just 2 more. Really Through?
That's a good one. I actually wrote the riff on that one.
Oh, really?
Just the riff. John took the helm on the rest of that.
All right.
That's a rare. You guys did your homework, damn.
And then last but not least, The Art of Dying.
The Art of Dying.
Yep.
Vintage.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
There were so many. This was really tough for us. We actually, because there was so many where we were trying to pin it down to try to keep it to the sound, and we just, I don't know, the guitar work is insane on all of these records, and I know you're the bass player, but you add to that punch. There was just this punch to what Superdrag was doing, man, and the fact that we missed out on it, all 3 of us were just super bummed out. But that's also great about now is, I missed out, but I was able to listen to the whole discography in a week and fall in love with a band that I didn't know about a week ago.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for doing the research.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see you didn't know anything of the band, or how did you found that record in a $2 bin, or like, oh, what's this? It's like an artifact or something.
Well, I knew the name from Sucked Out, obviously, and
Okay.
but I never got Regretfully Yours. I never bought in, and I saw Valley of the Dying Stars in that bin, and I was like, I remember Sucked Out. I'll give this I'll give this a listen, and I loved it then. And just for whatever reason, I again didn't seek out the rest of the discography, and I started doing this show like in February or March, and honestly, Superdrag has been one of the bands I've wanted to do, but I didn't have anybody who would do it with me. So like I decided, well, nobody knew, so like I was like, well, then F it, none of us are gonna know, and we're all gonna do it, and I think it was more fun that way. Everybody had a blast listening to the music, so.
So wow, a lot of folks, they didn't know anything. They weren't fans, and you said check this band out, and they listened to a bunch of stuff, and they came back and picked their favorite songs, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that what we did? Wow.
Yep.
Well, thanks for choosing Superdrag.
Well, Tom, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for calling. I'll let you go. I got a couple things I need to do here, but man, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Sure, dude. Thanks for keeping our tunes out there. You can, feel free to call if you come through Nashville.
Yes.
And is this a podcast, or are you on a radio station? Is it a college station? What is the setup?
It's an internet radio station, radiofradio.com. We, like I said, we're like a community station. We're trying to be a community station.
Oh, right on. We got a couple of those in Nashville.
Yeah,
really great.
We're trying to get to the FM. We're just not quite there yet. We're just on the internet right now. So
that's fine. Build an audience, man. Get out there.
That's what you got to do.
Send me our link to this broadcast. That kind of thing.
Will do.
And I'll let you know when I have something other than medium-sized T-shirts.
Yes, I'll definitely be getting one of those. And like I said, if I ever come out to Nashville, I'll definitely come check you out because
yeah, cool.
Dig the tunes.
Give me a text. Let me know in advance.
Alrighty, we'll do, man. Tom, thank you so much for your time. Have a great night, man.
Sure. Thank you, Justin. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Pappas of Superdrag, Tom Pappas Collection. I feel good about it. We're going to cut it right there. I feel good. I feel great. A little bonus deprogram for you guys. All right, have a good night, everybody.